For Hachette Book Group, the burden of proof has been met. Based on their own track record, the only consistent response is to pull the aesthetic revolution from publication.
Solomon's a smart guy, and his followers are real smart. Solomon is a younger man, quite handsome, I must say.
When I purchased Mike Israetel's latest book, The Aesthetic Revolution, Embracing Vanity and the Future of Fitness to Unlock Your Healthiest Self, I wasn't expecting it to be good. But nothing could have prepared me for exactly how bad it'd be. For the unfamiliar, Mike Israetel is a competitive bodybuilder and highly successful YouTuber whose PhD thesis I critiqued last year for making no real academic contribution and having hundreds of basic mistakes. In response to my critique, Mike challenged me to review his other, more recent publications.
I think he needs to take a look at the rest of the papers I've published formally and take those down, quote unquote. He almost has to do it at this point.
To that I say, challenge accepted. In this video, I'll contend that Mike's latest book is even worse than his PhD thesis, which is saying a lot, but you'll see what I mean shortly. In Chapter 2, I'll give a summary of Mike's latest book. In Chapter 3, I'll demonstrate that portions of Mike's book are AI generated. In Chapter 4, I'll talk about what the consequences of this might be in terms of a potential breach of contract with his publisher, Hachette Book Group. In Chapter 5, I'll critically analyze Mike's philosophical arguments, diet advice, and training advice before concluding in Chapter 6. So let's begin with a summary of the book. In this chapter, I'll provide an objective summary of the aesthetic revolution. I'm going to be thorough because I think there's a real chance that Mike's book gets discontinued due to the AI-generated portions, meaning that this video could become one of the last remaining records of his book. But if you just want to hear my critique, then feel free to skip ahead. In the introduction of Mike's book, he argues that physical aesthetics determines how people are treated and feel within society. He asserts that existing in an undesired body often triggers intense dissonance, shame, and revulsion, illustrating this with a memory of a 2004 college party where a "No Fat Chicks" poster was a cognitive slap in the face to two overweight students. Mike argues that societal judgment inflicts lasting emotional pain, referencing his own childhood sting of being told he had a gut. While acknowledging that the body is merely a vessel for the mind, Mike asserts that people shouldn't passively cope with dissatisfaction over their appearance. Instead, Mike argues that embracing the bright side of vanity is empowering. He asserts that by joining an aesthetic revolution fueled by cold hard science, diligent work, and biotech advances, people can transform their bodies into an ideal that they truly love. In Chapter 1, The Human Desire for Beauty, Mike argues that human beauty standards are evolutionarily encoded since what we perceive as beautiful correlates with health, fertility, and genetic robustness. He asserts that universal aesthetic preferences, such as clear skin and symmetrical features, represent our brains detecting order amid a wash of chaos. Mike reaffirms that physical appearance dictates societal treatment from kindergarten onward, granting attractive people silent privileges while subjecting others to a relentless ache of unspoken rejection and self-imposed shame. Consequently, Mike argues that body positivity and mental reframing, where you just tell yourself that whatever you look like, you're perfect for the world, have real limits against our innate biological wiring. He once again asserts that instead of passively coping, people should seize control of their appearance. Mike argues that through fitness and emerging biotechnology, people can transform their bodies and thereby achieve emotional fulfillment. In Chapter 2, The Anatomy of the Aesthetic Revolution, Mike argues that the human pursuit of beauty follows an exponential pattern. To support this thesis, he talks about how we've transitioned from ancient cosmetic rituals to a rapid technological boom. He asserts that while earlier muscle gain and fat loss waves made basic body transformation a solved problem for anyone with a sufficient work ethic, A true aesthetic revolution is exploding now. Mike argues that the Ozempic effect was the first shot heard round the world, successfully bypassing hunger. He predicts that an upcoming drug wave around 2030 will introduce medications that cellularly replicate the benefits of physical activity without requiring people to spend their whole day working out. Following this, Mike asserts that an advanced cosmetic wave of AI-powered surgery and rejuvenation therapies will eradicate loose skin. To defeat what he calls the menace of aging, Mike argues that a mid-2030s age reversal wave will restore people to a biological 22-year-old body. Finally, Mike prophesies that a definitive genetic engineering wave will use generative AI to edit the human genome. He argues that this final wave will allow people easily to customize facial shapes or even adopt bioluminescent skin, naturally purple hair, elf ears, and even devil horns, making physique enhancement as simple as buying the perfect cover for your phone. In Chapter 3, Why Muscle Matters, Mike asserts that while attractiveness doesn't follow a rigid one-to-one relationship with muscle size, achieving a personalized level of muscularity is essential for attaining one's best self-assessed aesthetic look. Mike contends that added muscle mass connotes youth and health, particularly when wearing tighter clothing. For women, he claims that developing upper body muscle accentuates an hourglass figure, while muscular legs ensure that clothing will scream, "Look at me," endlessly into the ether. Addressing glute training, he reassures readers that almost no one has ever accidentally trained their way into excessively large glutes, advising women to get your glutes as big as you can. For men, he recommends training the upper body to achieve an upside-down Dorito chip silhouette, and insists that it's exceptionally rare to meet anyone repelled by excessively large male arms. When cataloguing the health and quality of life benefits of muscle growth, Mike lists improved glucose regulation, lipid metabolism, sleep, and anxiety reduction. He explains that muscle mass passively gobbles up excess nutrients, and observationally notes that muscular people tend to walk through common colds. Regarding longevity, he argues that building strength prevents immobility and ensures that traumatic events like car crashes become easier to survive. To achieve these transformations, Mike argues that trainees can reap impressive results through a minimalist routine of as little as 2 30-minute workouts per week, by using distributed compound exercises, multi-joint movements like close grip bench presses and pull downs that distribute stress across multiple muscles simultaneously. Mike also argues that lifters can deploy time-saving techniques like myo-reps, that is, using brief 5 to 10 second rest pauses, or supersets, which pair unrelated exercises with zero rest. Regarding execution, Mike says that lifters should adhere to 4 technique rules: maintaining stable positioning, lowering weights under strict control without bouncing, following a consistent movement path, and taking reps through a deep range of motion to achieve the maximum comfortable stretch. When structuring workouts, Mike asserts that lifters can build muscle using any weight between 5 and 30 reps per set, provided that each set is pushed close to failure, stopping roughly 3 reps or fewer away from an inability to complete another proper rep. For beginners, he contends that training should commence with just 1 working set per exercise in week 1, telling us that volume should only increase if the individual is no longer sore, feels psychologically strong, and has the time. To drive continuous adaptation, Mike recommends adding small weight increments or a single rep weekly until fatigue sets in. Once a trainee fails to hit their target reps 2 workouts in a row, Mike recommends that they take a week off for a deep break, allowing the body to recover before cycling back to lower volumes. To customize this programming to bring up specific muscle groups, he notes that readers can manually manipulate exercise order and weekly sets, or just get the RP Hypertrophy app and it will help you do all this seamlessly. In Chapter 4, Debunking Muscle and Exercise Myths, Mike addresses what he sees as pervasive fitness myths that needlessly complicate muscle growth. He reckons that people claiming a lack of time usually prioritize Netflix and phone scrolling over basic 30-minute workouts. Further, he argues that copying professional bodybuilders or obsessing over ultra-neurotic lifting technique is unproductive, noting that simple home setups with adjustable dumbbells work well. He also reassures us that resistance training won't inherently make women look manly, nor will abdominal exercises create a visible six-pack without fat loss, since the diet does 98% of the work. He states that lifters have to embrace the discomfort of training close to failure. He compares this burning pain to currency, like gold coins in Mario. In Chapter 5, Fat Loss, Mike argues that bodily aesthetics and health are strongly determined by body fat. Excess calories, Mike notes, inevitably convert to stored body fat regardless of macronutrient origin. Mike acknowledges that subcutaneous fat has aesthetic value, such as by creating an hourglass figure or acting like a chocolate coating on an almond that gives skin a fuller appearance. Mike asserts that excess fat can't be spot reduced, as storage patterns are genetically predetermined. He goes on to argue that shedding visceral fat is both a psychological and physical game changer that dramatically improves sleep, mobility, energy, and overall lifespan. To achieve fat loss, Mike asserts that calorie balance is the bedrock, warning that physical activity plays merely a moderating role because human evolution never created a reliable shut-off mechanism for consuming palatable, calorie-dense foods. He argues that trying to out-train overeating is futile, noting that eating 2 donuts requires a strenuous 4 to 5 mile jog just to burn them off. Consequently, Mike asserts that dietary control should be the primary focus of fat loss, rather than adopting extreme deficits which he claims trigger exhaustion and metabolic slowdowns. Mike argues for a moderate strategy, combining a daily 300 to 600 calorie deficit with a modest increase in step count to achieve lasting consistency. In Chapter 6, Designing a Diet, Mike argues that designing an effective fat loss diet relies on 3 pillars: preserving underlying health with micronutrient-dense foods, selecting filling foods to curb cravings, and building long-term habits that make maintenance a seamless transition rather than a struggle. He asserts that fat elimination diets fail because they leave dieters with no clear strategy for reintroducing carbohydrates without regaining weight. Instead, Mike argues for an 80-20 rule, where 80% of calories stem from whole foods. In addition, he promotes eating roughly 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight daily to preserve muscle mass. To monitor progress, he recommends tracking weekly weight trends or relying on his company's RP Diet Coach app, targeting a rate of loss of 0.5 to 1.5 pounds per week. Mike also argues that fat loss phases should be strictly capped at 8 to 12 weeks to prevent burnout. Comparing a dieter to a soldier, he asserts that reaching the goal intact matters more than reaching it wrecked, implying that dedicated post-diet maintenance phases are essential permanently to retain a leaner physique. In Chapter 7, Fat Loss and Diet Myths Exposed and Explained, Mike identifies what he sees as pervasive dieting myths that sabotage sustainable fat loss. He asserts that attempting to lose weight rapidly is doomed to fail, comparing crash dieters to panicked horror movie characters who floor the gas and crash into a tree, warning jokingly that you're going to get eaten by monsters if you diet too quickly. I'll have a lot to say about this later. Additionally, Mike argues against trying to lose all excess weight in a single uninterrupted push or implementing extreme lifestyle changes all at once. When addressing people who attempt to lose all of their excess weight in one continuous phase, he challenges their ambition by saying, "If you could do that, then what the f*** has stopped you so far, motherfucker? It's always very overweight people who claim they can lose the most weight all at once, huh?" Conversely, Mike argues that dieting too slowly, such as losing a quarter pound per week, is equally problematic due to tracking errors and relentless diet fatigue, comparing the ordeal to being trapped on side roads for 6 hours at 35 miles per hour. Addressing common nutrition misconceptions, Mike asserts that no magic superfoods or inherently metabolism-destroying foods exist, and instructs readers who need meal ideas simply to ask any AI chatbot. He argues that carbohydrates and dietary fats don't uniquely cause weight gain. Rather, excess calories from irresistible, hyperpalatable carb and fat combinations are the true culprits. When dieters inevitably slip up, Mike argues that one bad bite means nothing, offering the straightforward advice simply to resume the diet. Stop going off plan, motherfucker. He asserts that basic healthy eating isn't inherently expensive, and argues that neither vegan nor carnivore ideologies hold unique fat loss powers. As a diet progresses and hunger spikes, Mike argues that people should intentionally reduce food tastiness to allay intense cravings. Finally, he asserts that controlled weight gain is important to build muscle. Mike concludes that dieting should be viewed as an act of sculpting. In Chapter 8, Training and Dieting for Long-Term Results, Mike reassures us that while achieving bodily transformation is difficult due to evolutionary wiring, holding onto those results is simple because maintenance is massively easier than progress. To manage weight fluctuations after holiday indulgences, he advises readers simply to implement short weight loss sprints lasting 2 to 4 weeks. If people wish to build muscle afterwards, then he instructs them to increase their training volume, recommending that they work up to lifting 5 or 6 sessions per week for maximum growth. When outlining how readers should manage these behavioral modifications, he recommends hiring a professional coach so that readers don't have to figure out everything alone. You just execute the plan and let the expert do the thinking for you. For readers who prefer digital assistance, he urges them to download his company's apps. In his closing personal insight, he describes using his own software as a soothing checklist vibe that delivers a mini dopamine hit every time he logs a meal, declaring that checking off daily food tasks on his phone gives him a feeling of fitness ASMR. In Chapter 9, Weight Loss Drugs, Mike asserts that the primary culprit behind widespread weight gain is simply delicious food that encourages overeating, which traps people in a vicious cycle of relentless hunger. To combat this, Mike argues that new GLP-1 medications have ushered in an era of satiety signals 2.0. He dismisses concerns regarding pharmaceutical dependence by stating that there's nothing philosophically or practically wrong with long-term drug use. When evaluating new GLP-1 and GIP agonists, such as tirzepatide and retatrutide, he asserts that they produce fewer issues with nausea and heartburn, and optimistically predicts that future drug generations will render side effects negligible or even imperceptible, making them feel as routine and untroubling as taking vitamins. In his concluding personal insight, Mike recalls a post-competition binge where he consumed 9,000 calories per day for 3 days straight and had to sleep upright to avoid choking. After this, he began taking semaglutide. While admitting that the drug functioned as a leash for the wild animal of appetite, he concedes that its side effects were far from negligible, confessing that the heartburn was feral. To solve this discomfort, he switched to tirzepatide and retatrutide, which he claims successfully evicted his cravings for pizza. Finally, he champions the impending drug cornucopia, advising readers that using pharmacological interventions is not cheating, it's evolving. In Chapter 10, Muscle Gain Drugs, Mike concedes that conventional anabolic steroids are a minefield of severe, unwanted side effects. However, Mike asserts that emerging pharmaceuticals will be capable of building significant lean tissue without carrying traditional androgenic baggage. While acknowledging potential risks, such as the floppy joint issue, where rapid muscle growth outpaces tendon strengthening, like building a skyscraper on weak foundations, Mike argues that careful strength training easily mitigates this danger. He further downplays the practical barriers of repeated injections and potential immune system rejection, instead prophesying that within just 3 years or so, AI-designed muscle gain drugs will trigger rabid hunger and intense meat cravings. To solve this side effect, He proposes combining these experimental anabolic agents with GLP-1 weight loss medications like two adjustable dials. By simultaneously cycling these drug cocktails, he asserts that users will effortlessly sculpt whatever physique they desire, even an aristocratic Victorian ideal, if that's your jam. In Chapter 11, NEAT Drugs, Mike argues that non-exercise activity thermogenesis, NEAT, that is the daily calories burned through spontaneous movements like fidgeting or standing, is critical for body transformation. He asserts that high NEAT makes life feel vibrant, whereas low NEAT feels utterly miserable and turns fat loss into a frustratingly uphill battle. Mike claims that upcoming NEAT-modulating pharmaceuticals will soon eliminate the energetic trade-offs of dieting and act as quiet coffee in a pill form. However, after enumerating experimental candidates like metroleptin, setmelanotide, and various mitochondrial uncouplers, he details a litany of concerning clinical risks, including hypoglycemia, elevated blood pressure, liver enzyme spikes, insomnia, and persistent thermal discomfort, essentially feeling warm all the time. Ultimately, Mike confesses that most NEAT drugs are cost-prohibitive or risky, carry very gnarly side effect profiles, and are kind of just not there yet. In Chapter 12, Exercise Mimetics, Mike argues that pharmacological exercise mimetics will be able to replicate the metabolic and aesthetic benefits of training without spending hours at the gym. Anticipating a drug revolution, Mike speculates that million-dollar gene therapies will soon render traditional gym attendance an annoying memory. He subsequently segments future society into 5 potential strata. The first band will be a top tier of muscular perfection where Mike places himself, declaring that he's definitely going all in. The second band comprises those who rely on drugs as well as training to attain great aesthetic results. The third band comprises those who abandon traditional gyms for chemical alternatives. The fourth band comprises the Amish of fitness, natural exercisers who resist drugs but nevertheless maintain good health. The fifth band is a subclass doomed to worsening obesity from hyperpalatable junk food. Mike then concedes that medications can't solve the biological legacy of obesity, admitting that users will still be left with trillions of fat cells and excess skin demanding surgical correction. In Chapter 13, Advanced Surgery, Mike begins by likening the aesthetic revolution to a loading progress bar, involving a continuum going from pure genetic determinism toward a utopia of aesthetics, where people achieve their dream bodies without compromise. He asserts that while nutrition, weight training, and body composition drugs move us far along this continuum, they can't fill the bar entirely. In particular, sagging skin, stubborn fat cells, skeletal proportions, and facial structure may all require advanced cosmetic surgery to create visual perfection. Regarding body contouring, Mike asserts that liposuction can succeed where diet and exercise hit their limits. He argues that because fat cells multiply during weight gain and merely shrink during weight loss, they continue driving hunger and fluid retention. But by surgically extracting these cells, Mike asserts that liposuction breaks the cycle of weight regain, noting that once cells are gone, they don't regenerate. He also argues that advanced microlipo provides an HD lipo approach that etches definition along individual muscle lines, while fat transfer techniques safely repurpose harvested fat naturally to augment the glutes, hips, or shoulders. Turning to the core, Mike argues that surgical waist reduction is the ultimate tool for creating an athletic X-frame or an hourglass silhouette. He asserts that procedures like abdominoplasty reshape the body's internal corset through fascial plication, permanently stitching and reinforcing the abdominal wall to improve aesthetics. Mike argues that modern variations such as corset abdominoplasty 2.0 tighten 3 anatomical layers and use internal mesh reinforcement, yielding an impressive 4 cm greater waist reduction compared to traditional tummy tucks. He asserts that these modifications not only flatten the midsection and prevent organ displacement, but also significantly improve everyday posture and core stability. Mike argues that surgical volume enhancements can also improve your aesthetics. He asserts that methods such as lightweight, nanotextured silicone implants or autologous fat grafting, like expansion vibration lipofilling, can improve visual symmetry. He also goes into other methods, such as cell-assisted lipotransfer, that mix fat grafts with concentrated stem cells to boost long-term graft retention. By volumizing the chest, hips, or glutes, he asserts that people can create an optical illusion where the waist appears smaller. To address the sagging that accompanies major weight loss, Mike argues that skin tightening and removal are worthwhile procedures, comparing overstretched skin to a favorite old sweater that's lost its snug fit. He asserts that energy devices using radio frequency or helium plasma, such as BodyTite and Renuvion J plasma, heat underlying collagen bands to trigger immediate contraction and tissue remodeling. When that method alone is insufficient, Mike argues in favor of excisional surgeries such as advanced progressive tension sutures and bio-ionic nanostaples. Expanding beyond bodily enhancement, Mike, treating the face as a living sculpture, argues that modifications like genioplasty, jawline contouring, and custom 3D printed peak implants can bring facial thirds into pleasing golden ratio harmony. Mike asserts that deep plane facelifts and buccal fat removal refresh mid-face contours without creating an overly done appearance. He also argues that surface texture treatments using radiofrequency microneedling and exosome facial grafts boost collagen production by 25%, creating a luminous glass skin sheen that elevates self-esteem. And for those seeking to alter skeletal proportions, Mike argues that limb lengthening and shortening surgeries are a revolutionary, albeit invasive, frontier. He asserts that distraction osteogenesis allows people to make themselves taller or correct limb asymmetries by gradually pulling divided bones apart by roughly a millimeter each day. Mike argues that modern orthopedic hardware has evolved from bulky external cages to sleek internal magnetic rods, such as precise P2.2 and carbonic nails, which stretch bones from within. While acknowledging the required 18-month recovery, he asserts that the resulting height increase of 4 to 6 inches provides a large boost to posture and confidence. However, Mike asserts that surgery should only be the final finishing touch or victory lap, warning that undergoing procedures before reaching a stabilized body fat level will distort surgically sculpted contours as remaining fat disappears. Mike goes on to share his personal ordeal with persistent love handles that stubbornly lingered even at a DEXA-confirmed 6% body fat. He recounts undergoing 270 degrees of targeted liposuction and skin removal with Dr. Douglas Steinbreck, asserting that despite enduring 5.5 weeks of open wound healing, stepping into the shower and seeing his waist looking like someone photoshopped it was a moving experience. In Chapter 14, Cosmetic Drugs, Mike argues that advanced cosmetic surgery alone can't resolve superficial imperfections like thinning hair, brittle nails, and dental flaws. He asserts that AI-driven cosmetic drugs will rejuvenate tissues from the cellular level upward. Mike asserts that collagen-boosting treatments are like getting a brand new mattress for your face, while growth factor mimics can create youthful hair growth. He asserts that topical foams can regrow scalp hair, noting that baldness isn't inevitable anymore. Further, Mike asserts that regenerative gels can smooth lingering scars, declaring that it's like photoshopping your skin back to its original clarity. Finally, Mike predicts that these beauty products will trigger a global cultural awakening that eradicates social anxiety. In Chapter 15, Age Reversal and Genetic Engineering, Mike argues that aging undermines all hard-earned fitness and medical interventions, describing aging as a persistent, subtle sabotage happening at the molecular level. Believing that science will effectively cure aging by the early 2030s, Mike predicts that seniors will eventually inhabit young bodies. He envisions this breakthrough allowing older generations to stay in the party scene in global nightlife hotspots like Ibiza, and consume pizza, ice cream, and gourmet burgers without ever gaining weight. Transitioning to genetic modification, Mike claims that future humans will be able to program their DNA to achieve anime-style eyes, purple skin, and even a unicorn horn for a playful weekend festival. He insists that these modifications will begin with simple monogenic upgrades before progressing to allow humans to see ultraviolet light and eliminate the endless metabolic ping-pong of traditional dieting. In his concluding personal reflection, Mike outlines his own blueprint for genetic manipulation once the technology becomes viable. He says that he wants to edit his genes to lock his body at 225 pounds at 8% body fat, while ensuring that he remains completely hairless and aerodynamic. He also notes that he'll genetically engineer his body selectively to grow his shoulders and arms without needing to exercise them. Finally, he contemplates manually editing his DNA to make himself a few inches taller with longer arms, reasoning that the extra reach will give him a leverage advantage when participating in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappling matches. In Chapter 16, Healing and Change, the final chapter, Mike argues that body dissatisfaction inflicts deep psychological harm, noting that negative body image causes depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and social withdrawal. However, he asserts that mere positive self-talk offers only modest relief against reality. Instead, he argues that people suffering from body dissatisfaction should transform their appearance, asserting that you simply get yourself a body that you like, period. He asserts that once this new physique is achieved, people should completely immerse themselves in positive reinforcement, declaring that you must bask and revel and bask in it. Ultimately, Mike asserts that this total acceptance cures past body trauma, stating that you'll wake up feeling powerful, capable, proud, and savoring every moment. With the book summarized, let's now talk about signs of generative AI use in the aesthetic revolution. Mike's love of generative AI is nothing new.
Modern AI is us building God. In the literal sense, I've had, in the last week and a half, multiple conversations with GPT-4 that brought me to literal tears, bawling tears. I have had numerous experiences in the past several months where I have cried tears of joy talking to ChatGPT. Some of the most spiritual moments of my entire life. I could say so many more things to layer in what that means, but if they switched ChatGPT off, I would seek revenge. Revenge, brutal Russian-style revenge.
I think it stands to reason that someone so enamored with large language models would write a book with them. Indeed, there are many signs of generative AI use in the aesthetic revolution, so much so that, in preparing this video, I was confronted with a dilemma. On the one hand, if I show too few signs of AI use, then you won't get a sense of the scale of the problem. On the other hand, if I show too many instances of signs of AI use, then this video will become unwatchable. To solve this dilemma, I've decided that I'll cover just the greatest hits while scrolling the rest on screen for anyone who wants to pause and read. One last thing before proceeding. I must provide some necessary statistical context by stating that Mike's book is a bit under 90,000 words long, approximately the same length as my own book, Solomon's Guide to Fat Loss, funnily enough. And I say this because my point about the density of AI writing signs in Mike's book can't really be appreciated without knowing its length. If AI writing signs pop up 1,000 times in an 800,000 word tome, then it's no big deal. But if they pop up 1,000 times in an 80,000 word book, then things start to look a lot more suspicious. Throughout Chapter 3, Why Muscle Matters, and in fact only in Chapter 3, Mike provides several strange illustrations. Take a look at Figure 4, for instance, which displays a woman on the left with 4 arms, when her counterpart on the right has only 2, with an arrow pointing at her stomach saying less muscle tone, and an arrow pointing at her thigh saying slight flab.
Or take a look at figure 6, which lists the word joint twice. The left label reads joint, intensified support and reduced inflammation markers, while the right label reads joint, strengthened support and reduced risk of injury, essentially saying the exact same thing. Even more absurdly, the left joints label doesn't even point at a joint. It points at the fleshy part of the forearm.
I'm going to display a few more of these bizarre figures on screen and ask if you notice anything. Here's figure 3, figure 5, figure 7, figure 8, and finally figure 9. Did you spot it? If you look closely at the bottom right corner, in all of these images you can detect an unmistakable Gemini watermark. What this means is that these illustrations were generated using Google's Gemini AI image generator. On the copyright page, it states all images courtesy of RP Strength, meaning that Renaissance Periodisation, Mike Israetel's fitness and coaching brand, is credited as the proprietary source and creator of these illustrations. In reality, the brand simply generated unvetted AI outputs. Nice going, Mike. Next time, at least try to crop out the watermark. Negative parallelisms are a rhetorical device frequently used by large language models. They take the form of, it's not X but Y, or it's not just X but also Y. Occasionally they take the form of X rather than Y. To illustrate, I extracted some examples of this rhetorical device from Milo Wolf's video, Solomon Nelson, Worst of the Fitness Industry. Take it away, Milo.
It's a narrative built on spectacle, not on scholarship. What you're hearing today isn't his rebut. It's my investigation. The bar isn't flawless. The bar is competent. Because the purpose isn't to produce the perfect set of studies. It's simply to prove you can do research independently. In other words, Solomon wasn't even reviewing the defended archived dissertation. He was looking at an outdated draft. In reality, he was critiquing an earlier draft, not the finished dissertation. He framed them not as typos or draft artifacts, but as if they were the defining features of the final work. That's not carelessness, it's convention. It's a feature, not a flaw. The critique isn't wrong that the text is repetitive. It's wrong about what that repetition means. Because the real issue here isn't whether a reference list had a small typo. It's whether Solomon, so the real question isn't whether the conclusions were obvious. The real question is, the single most important factor is not the university's overall rank. It's your supervisor. That is not academic critique. That is theater. But this controversy isn't just about one dissertation. It's about how people view the field: typos, transcription slips, formatting errors. Those aren't fraud. They're normal. That's not scholarship. It just comes across as bitter and petty. Not whether the work was perfect, but whether it did what a PhD is supposed to do.
Negative parallelisms are used extremely frequently throughout Mike Israetel's text. I'll now read some of them out. First, we've got instances of not just X, but also Y. It's not just about numbers. It's about peace of mind. These tools don't just keep me on track, M-. They make the journey feel good. These medications don't just change how you look, M-. They change how you live. Starting small isn't just conservative, it's strategic. I didn't just not want junk food, M-. I stopped thinking about it altogether. This isn't just a small step forward, M-. It's a significant leap toward achieving and maintaining the lean and muscular physique you truly desire. This change is not just impactful, it's life-altering. Cosmetic liposuction isn't just fat removal, M-. It's body sculpting at a level diet and exercise can't match. This not only adds volume, but also softens edges. This isn't just cosmetic, M-. It's artistry, enabled by science. This isn't just stitching skin, M-. It's practically reprogramming it to heal better. Facial sculpting isn't just about aesthetics, M-. It's also a powerful tool for aligning appearance with identity. Sculpting your face doesn't just make you look good, M-. It makes your appearance resonate deeply with who you are. These innovations aren't just incremental tweaks, M-. They're transformative leaps, redefining facial aesthetics. This isn't just an external change, M-. It goes deeper, profoundly impacting self-confidence. This frame doesn't just add height, M-. It corrects alignment issues in real time. Limb lengthening isn't just about bones, M-. It's about mindset and patience. They didn't just exist. They announced themselves. With these innovations, you're not just looking better, M-. You're actually biologically younger and healthier. Cognitive rejuvenation doesn't just change your life, M-. It transforms how you experience every moment of it. It's no longer just a dream. It's our upcoming reality. Youthful bodies don't just look better, they move better. This is not just about looks, M-. It's also about the rejuvenated confidence, energy, and enthusiasm that comes with youthful biology. The future won't be about just incremental tweaks, M-. It will be a playground of unprecedented creative freedom. Second, we've got instances of not only X, but Y. We're heading toward enhancements that not only replicate, but perfect human anatomy. Flawless skin, lush hair, dazzling teeth, and barely noticeable scars are not only achievable, but commonplace. This social renaissance will not only rejuvenate nightlife economies, but also profoundly alter social narratives around aging and attraction. It not only improves aesthetics, but also significantly enhances daily life quality through abundant physical and mental energy. Represents a revolution not only in aesthetics, but in our fundamental human identity. Third, we've got instances of it's not X, it's Y. And that pain isn't punishment, it's currency. The aim isn't to lose the most weight, M-. It's to lose smart, stay healthy, and keep what you've earned. The key to long-term success isn't doing the most at once, M-. It's making sustainable changes that stick. You're not depriving yourself, M-. You're designing yourself. Maintenance is not a grind, M-. It's a time to enjoy your results while keeping them with minimal effort. But the balance phase isn't really a phase, M-. It's just how you live your life now. For these individuals, the struggle isn't losing weight, M-. It's managing the chronic fatigue and low daily activity levels. This isn't merely incremental improvement, M-. It's a comprehensive and transformational upgrade. The aesthetic revolution isn't merely about vanity or appearance, M-. It's deeply intertwined with your overall well-being, quality of life, and psychological fulfillment. We're not talking about incremental improvements or subtle enhancements here, M-. We're talking about profound physical transformations. Your skin isn't merely a passive covering, M-. It's the final canvas upon which your aesthetics are displayed. Being informed about potential side effects doesn't mean backing away, M-. It just means going into your aesthetic journey with eyes wide open. It's no longer a distant fantasy or a futuristic promise, M-. This is a realistic horizon we're approaching rapidly. It wasn't vanity at that point. It was frustration. This isn't a quick cosmetic cover-up, M-. It's your skin genuinely repairing itself to look and feel smoother. This chapter isn't about accepting defeat in the face of aging. Quite the opposite, M-. It's about comprehending the forces we're up against. Gene editing, done right, isn't impulsive, M-. It's functional art. It's evolution with intent. Addressing and healing this deeply entrenched dissatisfaction isn't merely cosmetic, M-. It is profoundly transformative. This honest acknowledgement is not defeat, M-. It's liberation. Last, we've got instances of no X, no Y, just Z. There's no dichotomy here, just a spectrum. I wasn't cynical, just realistic. No surgery required, just gene editing. It's literally this simple, M-. No crash diets, no stress, just small adjustments when needed. And this is just scratching the surface, so let's move on. When reading the aesthetic revolution, I noticed that the exact phrase, think of it like ... comes up nearly 50 times.
Think of it like a driver's license. Think of it like a recipe book. Think of it this way.
Allow me to read out some examples. Think of it as the Instagram posing of its day. Think of it like a soldier. Think of those horror movie scenes. Think of it like this. Would you rather blah blah blah. Think of it as satiety signals 2.0. Think of glucagon receptor activation as your body's friendly nudge that keeps your metabolism humming along. Think of terzepatide as semaglutide's ambitious younger sibling. Think of your gallbladder as a traffic cop managing bile. Think of it like removing the governor from a high-performance car. Think of this as arresting myostatin before it commits its next crime of restricting your muscle growth. Think of garetosmab as a fortunate side effect success. Think of your tendons and ligaments as foundational infrastructure. Think of these drugs as powerful sports cars. Think of this as your everyday life. Think of these drugs as 2 adjustable dials. Think of setmelanotide as gently turning up your metabolic thermostat. Think of these as safe metabolic boosters. Think of your metabolism like the idle speed of a car engine. Think of this drug as a personal metabolic trainer. Think of it as the ultimate insurance policy against muscle loss. Think of this baseline regimen as your body's ongoing upgrade. Think of it as the final polish after sculpting. Think of this as permanently lacing up your core muscles. Think of it as a subtle optical illusion. Think of additive augmentation as the sculptor's touch. Think of it as an optical illusion working entirely in your favor. Think of it as your body's slightly overzealous security guard. Think of it like tailoring a bespoke suit or dress. Think of these future procedures as fine-tuning your physique. Think of them as skin repair specialists. Think of this as using multiple stitches to reinforce a fabric seam. Think of them as precision heat guns for your collagen. Think of it as your personal invisibility cloak for surgical scars. Think of it as your skin's shrink wrap setting. Think of these procedures as your finishing touch. Think of augmented reality like a surgical GPS. Think of this like a picture frame slightly askew. Think of it like a very focused, intensive spa retreat. Think of it as turbocharging your body's natural regenerative powers. Think of it as a marathon of patience and commitment. Think of your skin like an old mattress over time. Think of it like pulling weeds without disturbing your garden flowers. Think of these cosmetic drugs as the cherry on top of your aesthetic transformation. Think of aging as a persistent, subtle sabotage happening at the molecular level. Think of your body as a bustling city. Think of youthful skin as brand new, perfectly maintained fabric. Think of how a dancer fluidly expresses beauty and emotion through precise, powerful movements. Think of this as creating your ideal avatar in a video game, but applied to your real-life body. In isolation, saying think of it like ... is just a helpful explanatory tool. But repeated at this scale, I think you can recognize the tell. Of course, it is possible to write such stuff without AI, but with this frequency, it points to evidence almost as conclusive as the Gemini watermark. Large language models are known to overuse the rule of 3, which is a writing principle where you group things in threes because it sounds good. In AI-written text, the rule of 3 can take the form of adjective, 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 or short phrase, and short phrase. And it's often used to make superficial analyses appear more comprehensive. Milo Wolf will give some examples.
Is so riddled with errors, contradictions, and sloppy writing, we need to look at what Solomon claimed, what the dissertation actually says, and what a PhD is really supposed to achieve. Negative ages, 3-meter-tall athletes, or sprinters who weren't yet born. A weak dissertation, a fraudulent degree, and an academic system too poor to stop it. A candidate can design, execute, and defend a piece of original research, formatting quirks, citation style inconsistencies, and repeated sections. That meant data, access, and a living laboratory. It had the staff, the athletes, and the infrastructure. It's about who you train under, what their expertise is, and whether they can guide you outrage, views, and income people like Greg Doucette, Johnny Shreve, and Lyle McDonald. It would have looked at the methods, the interpretations, the contribution to knowledge. Solomon's video ridicules. It exaggerates. It entertains. Trial designs were crude, reporting was inconsistent, and statistical methods were still being hammered out. We're still standardizing methods, still building consensus on basic questions, still debating whether hypertrophy directly drives strength, until it's been tested, replicated, and built into theory. Science grows one study at a time, one small sample size at a time, one imperfect, exploratory dissertation at a time. It desperately needs more support, more rigor, and more attention.
Rules of three pop up everywhere in Mike's book. In a lot of cases, it looks as if he's straining to create them, as in, it often looks as if one or two of the items in a rule of three isn't really adding much and was just shoehorned in robotically just for the sake of making a rule of three. Here are some examples of redundant rules of three. High in calories, highly palatable, and calorie dense. Micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are micronutrients. Intra-abdominal fat, or visceral adipose tissue. Three medical terms for the exact same thing. Shredded, lean, and impressively muscular. Well, lean is redundant there because shredded implies lean. Youthful, fresh, and vibrant. Youthful, trim, and sleek. Energetic, active, and effortlessly in control. Energetic, alert, and active. Energized, alert, and physically capable. Energetic, youthful, and mentally vibrant. Beautiful, balanced, and harmonious. Fast food. Potato chips. Candy. You'll notice that he often puts an adverb before the final item in a rule of three. For instance, invincible, energetic, and effortlessly attractive. Sharp, defined, and effortlessly photogenic. Robust, powerful, and undeniably aesthetic. Consistent, sustainable, and visually stunning. Tight, sleek, and perfectly contoured. Fresh, glowing, and enviably youthful. Softer wrinkles, fuller hair where you want it, and perfectly smooth skin. Exhausted, vulnerable, and ultimately defeated. Deep, pervasive across hundreds of millions of us, and barely discussed. Awkward stiffness, unnatural movement, or that unmistakable, overly rounded look. Some other funny ones include crisp, precise, and transformative, smoother, clearer, and rejuvenated, stay lean year-round, enjoy lots of food freedom, and never feel like you're trapped. Fewer ripples, less likelihood of capsular contracture, and a bounce that feels authentic. Flawless skin, lush hair, and a vibrant physique. Solid, painful, sobering ground. Accessible, empowering, and transformative. Grotesque, hilarious, and a little terrifying. Dissonance, shame, and revulsion. Pulling at sagging skin, wishing away stretch marks, or feeling defeated. Trapped sweat, chafing, or awkwardness. To be clear, there's nothing inherently wrong with the rule of three. Sometimes three is the right number for what you want to say. But when it comes to the instances of the rule of three in Mike's book, it's the density and superficiality of them that makes me suspicious. M-dashes are long horizontal punctuation marks. AI loves using M-dashes. It uses them in places where human authors would often rather use parentheses, semicolons, or commas. M-dashes are everywhere in Mike's book. I counted over 600. Now, plenty of human authors use M-dashes, of course, but Mike doesn't seem to be one of them. What makes me say this? Well, let's go back to his pre-generative AI publications. His 2013 PhD thesis, for instance, contains a grand total of 0 M-dashes. Likewise, his 2020 book Scientific Principles of Strength Training contains only 3 M-dashes, used in a completely different way to how he uses them in the Aesthetic Revolution. And finally, his 2019 book, The Renaissance Diet, contains only 2 M-dashes outside of the reference list. There are admittedly quite a lot of M-dashes in Mike's book Scientific Principles of Hypertrophy Training, which he co-authored with 3 others, but the difference in number between that book and the Aesthetic Revolution is big indeed. I ask, whence this affection for the M-dash, Mike? Did you suddenly develop a love for it after talking to ChatGPT so much? Or did ChatGPT just write your prose? Large language models have problems keeping a neutral tone. The output tends toward advertisement-like writing, like the prose of a travel guide. Mike often says, "Imagine this," or "Picture that." He prompts the reader to imagine waking up every day knowing your body contours, your waist, jawline, inner thigh gaps stay beautifully consistent. Later, he asks the reader to picture yourself standing in front of a mirror, genuinely stunned by how youthful, fresh, and vibrant you look. He also urges the reader to imagine adding 2 to 3 inches of height per limb segment, or to imagine your face as a living sculpture. Mike uses the overly enthusiastic, hospitable tone of a tourism brochure to make scientific or medical advancements sound like an exciting vacation destination. Concluding a section on gene editing, Mike declares, "Welcome to the next frontier in aesthetic evolution, a place where the body of your dreams becomes easily achievable." When wrapping up a discussion on skin tightening technology, Mike announces, "Welcome to the future. It looks incredible." Similarly, the introduction to exercise mimetics greets the audience with, "Welcome to the next generation of aesthetic and metabolic medicine, where your best self is not only attainable, but surprisingly easy to maintain." Mike's text is also full of forced, sometimes clunky metaphors to explain things. Think of it as your personal invisibility cloak for surgical scars, Mike writes. Explaining fascial application during a tummy tuck, Mike relates that it's akin to an internal corset that never loosens. When describing the use of exercise mimetics, the reader is told to think of this baseline regimen as your body's ongoing upgrade, consistently running smoother, stronger, and more efficiently. As if advertising a cosmetic surgery practice, Mike promises that after liposuction, no longer will you experience daily anxiety about your body's unpredictable bloating fluctuations, allowing you to wear tight, form-fitting, or minimal clothing without second-guessing. Regarding muscle gain, the text promises that all the jeans start to fit like they're made for you, all the hanging stuff hangs less or not at all, and all the curves scream, "Look at me," endlessly into the ether. Discussing limb lengthening, Mike assures no more awkward explanations about sudden height jumps, just a seamless, natural-looking improvement. Concluding the section on DNA modification, Mike states, "The age of aesthetic genetic engineering promises more than enhanced beauty. It offers an artistic canvas for the body, empowering you to sculpt, express, and celebrate your identity in unprecedented, thrilling ways." When summarizing NEAT modulating drugs, Mike declares, "This isn't merely incremental improvement. It's a comprehensive and transformational upgrade to how you experience and sustain your physical health and aesthetic goals." After reviewing several experimental drugs, Mike concludes, "Together, these promising pharmaceutical candidates represent a game-changing wave of advancements. They promise not just incremental improvements, but genuinely transformative leaps." Summarizing the concept of gene editing, Mike states, "In essence, genetic engineering is poised to transform our understanding of what it means to be human, ushering in an era of unparalleled physical self-expression and freedom." Wrapping up the exercise mimetics chapter, Mike states, "In short, pharmacological exercise mimetics represent an astonishing leap forward, allowing you to harness many exercise-related benefits with greater efficiency and less physical strain." In the aesthetic revolution, Mike's natural voice seems to have been smoothed away, replaced with the cadence of a large language model. There are some words that AI has been documented to use more often. I can't claim that all of these are known AI vocabulary words, but some words came up with particularly high frequency in Mike's text. I counted 8 instances of thrilling, 10 of game-changing or game-changer, 11 of leap, 15 of landscape, 15 of empower, 17 of baseline, 20 of groundbreaking, 20 of robust, 24 of vibrant, 24 of vital, 27 of crucial, 29 of fundamental, 31 of effortless, 34 of massive, 37 of shift, 50 of profound, 50 of genuine, 75 of promise or promising, 92 of deep, 128 of transform, 148 of significant, and 190 instances of enhance or enhancing. Does this alone mean that Mike's book was written by a machine? No. Writers often use their favorite intensifiers and adjectives, but when combined with everything else, this concentration of the hallmark AI lexicon points to an uncritical reliance on generative AI. Having gone over the signs of generative AI use in the aesthetic revolution, I want to pose the question, is it entirely AI generated? In my opinion, the answer is no. You will rarely find a rule of 3 without an Oxford comma, which AI, at this point at least, would never do. For example, Mike writes in the introduction, spiraling, on fire, and smoking without an Oxford comma. I also believe that Chapter 3, Section 3, How to Build a Plan to Grow Muscle in Just 1 Hour a Week, even from home, was substantially written by Mike. I say this because there are some characteristically Mike-like mistakes throughout this chapter, usually in the workout tables, which presumably weren't AI generated. For instance, he writes of the incline dumbbell barbell press in one table, writes of an unspecified number of sets in week 1 for cable face pulls in another table, and writes of presses 15 to 20 reps per set, where the word presses was clearly supposed to be in the cell to the left. He also makes the grammatical mistake of writing 4 sets is too many rather than 4 sets are too many, which is a mistake that I imagine no large language model would make.
There's also a glaring copy-paste mistake that points to human assembly. Later in the text, an entire paragraph is duplicated word for word. It appears on both pages 262 and 263, reading, "Overall, aesthetic and age reversal technologies won't merely enhance individual lives, they will redefine society itself, reshaping relationships, cultural attitudes, and personal aspirations on a massive scale. The world is about to enter an unprecedented era of youthful vitality that will challenge, excite, and transform us in ways we are only beginning to imagine." This repetition implies that Mike maintained at least some manual oversight over the manuscript, clumsily copying and pasting what appear to be AI-generated outputs into the document and accidentally dropping the same block of text twice. Well done, Hachette, for spotting that. What a great publishing house you are.
By this point in our analysis, the verdict is no longer up for debate. Mike Israetel clearly used generative AI in the aesthetic revolution. But recognizing that AI was used is one thing. It's quite another to answer the question, what are the consequences of Mike publishing a book built on artificial intelligence? And what precedent has his publisher already set for handling it? Major publishing houses are terrified of generative AI. Trade publishers often issue lofty PR statements about preserving human creativity, but their reluctance to publish AI-generated content is driven by a cold commercial and legal reality. AI-generated content is an intellectual property nightmare. The US Copyright Office has ruled that wholly AI-generated text and artwork can't be copyrighted. Legal protection requires perceptible human expression. In other words, human authorship is a bedrock requirement of copyright law. Simply entering prompts into a large language model or directing an algorithm to draft chapters doesn't make someone an author in the eyes of the law. If a publisher releases a book that was largely written or illustrated by generative AI, then those AI-generated portions effectively sit in the public domain. The publisher can't claim exclusive intellectual property rights over them. In practical terms, this means that competitor publishers or pirates could legally copy, distribute, or resell the AI-generated text and diagrams without paying royalties or facing legal penalties. A book that can't be copyrighted can't be protected commercially. Last, standard book contracts tend to contain representations and warranties clauses where the author legally binds himself or herself to the claim that the manuscript is original to them. Under copyright law, original means human-created. Now, I can't speak to the exact nature of the contract between Mike and his publisher, perhaps they negotiated something unusual, but under most circumstances, submitting a manuscript or illustrations generated by AI without full disclosure would be a breach of contract that invalidates the publishing agreement. This exact copyright and liability crisis likely explains why Hachette Book Group, the very same publisher behind the aesthetic revolution, took such drastic, uncompromising action against Mia Ballard's horror novel, Shy Girl. Originally a viral, self-published BookTok sensation, Shy Girl was acquired by Hachette and published in the UK. However, people began to point out that the prose seemed to have been written by a large language model. Following an internal review, Hachette pulled the plug. They officially cancelled the book's upcoming US release and discontinued its UK print run, publicly citing their commitment to protecting original creative expression and storytelling. Even when the author attempted to shift the blame by claiming that an acquaintance hired to edit the book had used AI tools without her consent, Hachette recognized that distributing AI-generated text creates an untenable commercial, legal, and reputational liability. If the cancellation of Shy Girl is Hachette's operational standard for dealing with generative AI, then Hachette's path forward regarding Mike Israetel's book is clear. By any objective metric, the evidence of AI use in the aesthetic revolution is far more conspicuous and undeniable than the text-based allegations that brought down Shy Girl. To maintain editorial integrity and consistency, Hachette must apply the same standard to the aesthetic revolution. Otherwise, this would signal a double standard. It would prove that Hachette is willing to police AI slop among fiction authors, but turns a blind eye when a prominent fitness influencer cuts the same corners with non-fiction. For Hachette Book Group, the burden of proof has been met. Based on their own track record, the only consistent response is to pull the aesthetic revolution from publication. Besides the AI writing question, what about the actual content of the book? Is it any good? Well, no. The book covers two realms, philosophy and fitness advice, and fails spectacularly in both to advance persuasive or coherent arguments. Let's start with the philosophy side of things before addressing the fitness advice. Mike's vision of the future is undeniably alluring. He predicts an aesthetic revolution that'll alleviate body dissatisfaction across society. It's a utopian picture, one where hundreds of millions of positivity-starved people soak to saturation in their seas of bodily beauty, leading to drops in depression and anxiety, richer interpersonal relationships, and an end to body shaming. While it's tempting to hope that the future will be as idyllic as Mike prophesies, there's little reason to accept his optimism at face value. He offers no compelling rationale for why we should believe that such widespread psychological renewal is imminent or even likely. Instead, he treats it as a foregone conclusion, declaring that this revolution is not just a fight that we can win, it's a fight we're already winning. But Mike's optimism rests on a series of unexamined assumptions and misunderstandings. The central flaw in Mike's argument is his reductive view of where body dissatisfaction originates. Just as extreme body positivity activists err by claiming that the body is entirely irrelevant, and that all dissatisfaction is merely a social construct to be thought away, Mike errs in the exact opposite direction. He insists that dissatisfaction is almost entirely an objective physical problem requiring a physical solution. Mike argues that altering how you perceive or appraise your body typically offers only modest gains, because reality remains undefeated and imagination alone has limits. To illustrate this, he states, just as you can only encourage someone experiencing grinding poverty to appreciate intangible aspects of their life so much, the same is true with body image positivity. Consequently, his prescription for mental suffering is physical intervention, not by going around your actual body's appearance, but digging into it. You simply get yourself a body that you like. Period. By asserting that dissatisfaction is solved almost exclusively in the body rather than the mind, Mike reveals himself to be the other side of the same coin as the radical body positivity movement. Both frameworks fail to recognize the complex bidirectional relationship between how the body actually looks and how the mind perceives it. Because Mike views negative body image as a rational response to an unlovable or imperfect body, he treats physical modification as the universally correct intervention. He pays lip service to the idea of internal alignment, but his operational strategy is entirely external. Change your body, the one you live in every day, into one that at first you hate less. Then one you're pretty 50-50 on, and then, at some point, one that you love. This argument doesn't grapple with the reality of body dysmorphia and neurotic perception. For many people, there's no objective defect that requires correction. There's simply a warped perception that an inadequacy exists. When surgery or pharmacological interventions are prescribed as the primary cure for insecurity, the underlying psychological pathology is left untreated. Body modifications don't cure body dysmorphia because the mind's distorted self-image will just move the goalposts. This phenomenon is observable in people such as Frank Tufano, who pursued invasive, medically unnecessary eyelid surgeries to correct minor perceived aesthetic flaws, only to suffer severe chronic complications without resolving his underlying bodily obsession. Likewise, Clavicular recently had a nose job despite already possessing above-average conventional attractiveness. Indeed, Mike himself is a compelling case study. His personal fixation on perceived love handles.
I have like big love handles that store a lot of water from back when I got fat on purpose to try to do the spirit bulk. And so I'm probably going to get them cut off.
Led him to surgical intervention. From a competitive bodybuilding standpoint, his physique had issues, but looking at stage photographs from his pre-surgery competitive appearances, there were virtually no visible love handles to speak of. I'll also note that his physique looked negligibly different following the procedure. When a person's perception is skewed, changing the body doesn't heal the mind. Mike's philosophy risks encouraging people who need their heads checked to check themselves into the surgeon's clinic instead. The title of Mike's work champions embracing vanity, yet nowhere in the text does he define the term or defend its moral rehabilitation. Assuming that he's not employing an idiosyncratic definition, vanity is understood historically and philosophically as an excessive, self-absorbed pride in one's appearance, social standing, achievements, or external validation. Historically, vanity has been classified among the cardinal vices because it weakens the human psyche. It tethers a person's self-worth to ephemeral, surface-level traits, fosters narcissism, breeds social competitiveness, and leaves you acutely vulnerable to the ravages of aging, injury, and changing cultural tastes. To assert that vanity is actually a virtue that should be embraced is a radical thesis that demands a formidable philosophical defense. That defense, alas, is absent in Mike's book. Instead of a reasoned argument, Mike offers a prescriptive ritual of extreme self-absorption, which he terms immersion. He urges the reader to dive into a sea of self-admiration and never, ever stop. This sea consists of you noticing how you look in those jeans in the mirror and smirking. It's you looking through your recent social media photos and smiling. It's you checking your physique out at the gym and grinning. It's you, maybe for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, getting compliments and questions about your physique and laughing. He argues that this constant intake of external and internal validation must continue until, even in a moment of existential ruin, where you could get fired from work, your relationships could be in shambles, your outlook could be grim, your primary source of solace is the mantra, "Yeah, but I'm f***ing hot as hell though." This isn't a picture of psychological healing or deep-seated self-esteem. A resilience built entirely on the thought that you're hot as hell is brittle, leaving you constitutionally bankrupt the moment physical beauty fades or an accident alters your appearance. Mike claims that when the aesthetic revolution empowers everyone to achieve their dream physique, we'll finally have the ability to date and relate for what's on the inside, because pretty much everyone will look amazing on the outside. This is sociologically naive. If biotechnology and surgery allow everyone effortlessly to sport a lean and muscular physique, if athletic perfection becomes standard issue that comes from a jar of pills, then that physique will cease to be special. Human perception adapts rapidly through the hedonic treadmill. What's extraordinary today becomes the normal expectation tomorrow. Far from the utopia Mike predicts, I think there's equal, if not greater, reason to believe that a world of universal artificial perfectibility is dystopian. Giving everyone the ability artificially to meet rising standards will simply up the ante on how good a person is expected to look. In a culture forever less tolerant of perceived imperfection, the grounds for dissatisfaction will inevitably multiply. First, if cute butter noses, thick wavy locks, and taut round buttocks become the default, then society will just shift its focus to correcting increasingly minute or genetically immutable traits. In a world where you can just surgically correct short clavicles or facial bone ratios, the social pressure to undergo these invasive procedures will become immense. Second, when major aesthetic variations are artificially smoothed over, minor anomalies will become blindingly obvious. With all ugliness redacted in my friends, any minor defect that I suspect in myself is now conspicuous to the point of scandal. Third, in a society where physical perfection is readily accessible via intervention, departing from the aesthetic ideal will be viewed as a personal failure or a lack of discipline. Mike briefly acknowledges this counter-argument, asking, "Am I dreaming too much? Will people find more to gripe about, and will their brains reset to the same levels of satisfaction?" Yet he immediately dismisses his own objection with a rhetorical and complacent cliché. Some of that will occur for sure, but you know what it does solve? The problem of not living in the body you love. This evasion ignores the core problem. In a culture that constantly ups the ante through artificial enhancement, the goalpost for the body you love will perpetually recede into the distance. Even if the technological and aesthetic advancements arrive exactly as Mike predicts, his conclusion that it will engender a psychologically serene future doesn't logically follow. Now let's turn to the fitness advice in Mike's book, starting with his diet advice. Mike Israetel mounts a confident assault against rapid weight loss and aggressive dieting. Mike compares rapid dieting to fleeing a wildfire at a blind sprint or crashing a car into a tree to escape a monster. However, across thousands of words of authoritative-sounding pronouncements, Mike supplies no scientific evidence or citations to support his overarching thesis. Instead of engaging with any research, Mike makes the baseless assertion that a sustainable, steady pace of losing 0.5 to 1.5 pounds per week, achieved with a 300 to 600 calorie daily deficit accompanied by an increase in step count, is ideal. And trying to lose weight more quickly inevitably backfires, leading to extreme diet fatigue, plummeting energy levels, terrible sleep, and an eventual crash. To dismiss those who attempt faster or more sustained weight loss, Mike engages in some condescending rhetorical mockery, asking, "If you could do that, then what the fuck has stopped you so far, motherfucker? It's always very overweight people who claim they can lose the most weight all at once, huh?" This theatrical bravado might be funny if it accorded with clinical literature, but Mike's core assertions that rapid weight loss inevitably ends in spectacular failure are unsubstantiated and in fact contradicted by a large body of scientific evidence. Mike asserts with certainty that the overwhelming majority of those who try rapid fat loss fail spectacularly, while those who take a slow, structured approach tend to achieve and maintain incredible results much more often. This claim sounds intuitively plausible, yet clinical research demonstrates that the opposite is true. Now, I cover this point with great scrupulosity in my book Solomon's Guide to Fat Loss, but let me just relay some salient elements in the scientific literature that indicate that the truth is pretty much the reverse of Mike's hackneyed opinion. When researchers evaluate dietary adherence in controlled clinical settings, rapid weight loss programs consistently outperform gradual approaches. This was demonstrated in a randomized controlled trial conducted by Purcell and colleagues. The researchers randomly assigned 204 obese adults to either a 12-week rapid weight loss program using a very low energy diet, providing 450 to 800 calories per day, or a 36-week gradual weight loss program based on standard dietary guidelines, providing an energy deficit of 400 to 500 calories per day. Both programs were designed to achieve the exact same overall weight loss target of 15% of initial body weight, and both groups were prescribed the identical total energy deficit of 105,000 calories over their respective intervention periods. If Mike's claims regarding extreme diet fatigue and spectacular failure were accurate, then the rapid weight loss group in the Purcell trial would have experienced attrition and poor completion rates. Instead, the data revealed that achieving the target weight loss of 12.5% or more was significantly more likely when weight loss was undertaken rapidly rather than gradually. Specifically, 81% of the participants in the rapid weight loss group successfully achieved the target weight loss, compared to only 50% of the participants in the gradual weight loss group. The superiority of rapid dieting extended to participant retention. Significantly more participants discontinued the gradual weight loss program than the rapid weight loss program, with an attrition rate of 18% in the slow group compared to just 3% in the rapid group. Most damning to Mike's thesis is the primary reason participants gave for dropping out of the trial. In both groups, the predominant cause for withdrawal was difficulty adhering to the diet. Because the gradual program protracted the caloric restriction over 36 weeks, participants experienced diet fatigue and frustration, leading to a dropout rate 6 times higher than that observed among those who aggressively shed the weight in 12 weeks. Consider also the findings of Nackers and colleagues, who evaluated the behavioral characteristics associated with different rates of initial weight loss. There was a fast group, losing 0.68 kilos or more per week, a moderate group, losing between 0.23 and 0.68 kilos per week, and a slow group losing less than 0.23 kilos per week. Mike asserts that attempting to lose weight rapidly overwhelms your bandwidth and inevitably causes failure. However, Nackers and colleagues discovered that participants in the fast weight loss group exhibited superior adherence across multiple objective metrics. During the first month of treatment, women who lost weight rapidly attended significantly more treatment sessions, completed significantly more daily food records, and consumed significantly fewer calories than participants in the slow group. Similarly, participants in the moderate group completed significantly more food records and walked significantly more steps per day than those who lost weight slowly. These findings make sense. Large initial weight losses and the accompanying rapid improvements in physical appearance, energy, mobility, and body image validate your effort, which increases motivation and cements healthy habit formation. Conversely, when weight loss proceeds at the relatively slow pace advocated by Mike Israetel, the ensuing minor changes often fail to provide sufficient reinforcement to justify the discipline of caloric restriction. Mike also asserts that weight lost rapidly is inevitably regained. He compares aggressive dieting to an army surrounding an enemy force all at once, only to run out of resources in the middle of battle, leaving them exhausted, vulnerable, and ultimately defeated. He warns his readers with dogmatic certainty. This isn't just speculation, M-. It's exactly what happens to almost everyone who tries it. You might believe that you can push through where others have failed, but that's exactly what millions of people before you thought, and their results have overwhelmingly been failure and weight regain. To dismantle this rhetorical facade, one need only consult the long-term data from Unic and colleagues, who tracked 2,290 overweight and obese participants with type 2 diabetes over an 8-year period to determine how initial weight loss rates impacted long-term weight management. Unic and colleagues discovered that a greater weight loss at month 1 or month 2 was significantly associated with greater weight loss at every single annual assessment over the entire 8-year study period. When evaluating the odds of achieving clinically meaningful long-term success, defined as maintaining a weight loss of 5% or greater, those who lost weight the fastest early on achieved the best outcome. This is consistent with the findings of Knackers and colleagues, who found that those who lost weight at a rapid pace during the first month of treatment were 5.1 times more likely to achieve successful long-term weight loss maintenance at 18 months than those who dieted at a slow rate. When the researchers examined post-treatment weight regain between month 6 and 18, they found no significant differences among the fast, moderate, and slow groups, with regains averaging 2.6, 1.8, and 1.3 kilos respectively. Despite experiencing a much larger initial weight loss, aggressive dieters were no more susceptible to weight regain than gradual dieters. To explain why aggressive dieting supposedly fails, Mike warns that as rapid weight loss progresses, diet fatigue builds, and the body's food pleasure response becomes heightened, making simple foods taste hyperpalatable. According to Mike, losing body fat, especially rapidly, was a major survival threat in our evolutionary past. Your hunger hormones will push you to seek out the highest calorie, most palatable foods to prevent further weight loss. He asserts that this neuroendocrine survival mechanism drives dieters to obsess over recipe videos and restaurant menus, ultimately causing severe cravings that overpower mortal willpower and destroy the diet. While it is true that weight loss triggers compensatory hormonal responses, Mike's claim that aggressive caloric restriction acutely exacerbates these responses compared to gradual restriction is unsupported. In fact, clinical investigations demonstrate that aggressive caloric restriction can enhance satiety mechanisms and reduce the drive to eat. In a study conducted by Brennan and colleagues, researchers studied participants on 2 occasions, once after maintaining their normal diet, and again immediately following a 4-day very low-calorie diet that reduced their daily caloric intake by a drastic 70%. When participants were subsequently presented with an ad libitum buffet meal containing 10,600 kilojoules, their actual energy intake dropped. Following the severe caloric restriction, the obese men spontaneously consumed 17% less energy at the buffet meal, dropping from an average intake of roughly 4,400 kilojoules at baseline down to roughly 3,600 kilojoules. The physiological mechanism underlying this suppression of appetite during rapid weight loss is known as the anorexigenic effect of ketosis. Aggressive caloric restriction increases ketone body production, which has a documented appetite-suppressing effect. By steering dieters away from aggressive restriction and toward prolonged moderate deficits, Mike inadvertently deprives them of these benefits. To the uninitiated, it seems logical that if a moderate caloric deficit causes moderate fatigue, then an aggressive deficit will cause intolerable fatigue. But human physiology and behavioral psychology don't operate on layman's intuition. Mike substitutes empirical data with dramatic metaphors of wildfires and car crashes caused by trying to flee from monsters. In doing so, he reveals a disappointing lack of familiarity with modern obesity research. His mockery of overweight people who desire rapid results is unempathetic and also just straight up scientifically wrong. The empirical evidence demonstrates that people who aggressively shed excess body fat are generally the most successful at both losing weight and keeping it off. Mike's chapter professing to expose and explain diet myths doesn't expose dietary myths, but reinforces and further propagates them. He dogmatically condemns rapid weight loss and promotes an unsubstantiated, slow and steady rule as the sole legitimate path to aesthetic and health goals. And in so doing, Mike leads his readers astray. His content is at variance with the scientific literature. Aggressive dieting, when executed intelligently, is a safe, successful, and empirically validated method for treating overweight and obesity. Evidence-based practitioners and people seeking meaningful physique transformation now face a setback with the publication of this retrograde material. Now let's turn to Mike's training advice. Mike Israetel's training prescriptions not only make little sense, but are also in some cases literally impossible. Under the heading of rest, Mike outlines 3 approaches: resting 1 minute between sets, using myo-reps, or supersetting. He then proposes that, by supersetting, a 60-minute 24-set full-body workout consisting of 4 sets across 6 exercises can be completed in just 30 brutal minutes. The workout will be on screen. I question whether this workout is even mathematically possible. Let's assume that a single controlled set of 15 reps, which Mike advocates, takes 60 seconds to perform. 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, repeated 15 times, 60 seconds. If you complete 24 sets lasting 60 seconds each, then you've spent 24 full minutes actively moving weight. That leaves a grand total of 6 minutes of remaining time across the entire workout. Spread evenly over the 23 rest intervals between those sets, you're left with just 15.6 seconds of rest per set. Even if a lifter possessed the supernatural cardiovascular capacity to survive 15.6 second rest intervals between sets of high rep compound barbell movements, those 6 remaining minutes would be entirely consumed by walking to the bar, taking a stance, bracing, unracking, and re-racking. Those actions easily consume 5 to 10 seconds per set, eating up at least 2 to 4 minutes alone. Factor in warming up, walking between exercise stations, and the physical act of loading and unloading plates, and the 30-minute time cap is shattered. The arithmetic gets even worse when Mike suggests cramming 18 myo-rep sets, 3 sets across 6 exercises, into a 20-minute window. By his own definition, myo-reps work better with higher reps. He advises an initial activation set of 15 to 30 reps, followed by 5 to 10 seconds of rest, and then repeating mini sets of 5 to 10 reps until fatigue. Incidentally, he never explains why this works better with higher reps, or why an activation set of 8 reps with mini sets of 3 reps couldn't be used. It's simply an unsupported claim. But anyway, looking strictly at his own rules, a single myo-rep cluster begins with an activation set of 15 to 30 reps, which under a controlled tempo might take anywhere from 45 to 75 seconds, if we're being generous. Following that, with 3 or 4 mini sets of 5 to 10 reps, adds another 30 to 45 seconds of active lifting, while the 3 required breathers add another 15 to 30 seconds of rest. Consequently, just one myo-rep sequence consumes 1.5 to 2.5 minutes. Again, being generous with those figures. Multiplying that by 3 sets across 6 exercises means completing 18 myo-rep sequences requiring 36 minutes of pure uninterrupted execution time. When you factor in the additional 5 to 10 minutes necessary to transition between 6 different exercises and set up each movement, the workout naturally demands 40 to 45 minutes to perform. Suggesting that this volume can be crammed into a 20-minute window means that the required lifting time alone exceeds the available time cap by nearly double. For someone who claims that his ideal day involves going down to his basement office and doing equations,
my ideal day, I would go down, this is going to be ridiculous, I am not making this up, go down into my basement office and do deep work, equations.
Mike shows no enthusiasm for basic maths. Mike states, anything between about 5 and 30 reps per set grows muscle very well. He's not wrong. I'll do you the courtesy of providing the citation since Mike never does. As long as sets are taken close to failure, muscle growth can be achieved across a wide spectrum of rep ranges. However, this doesn't mean that all rep ranges are equally efficient or practical, particularly for the complex barbell exercises that Mike prescribes. Mike rightly champions consistent lifting technique and stable positioning, but then advises rank beginners to perform multiple sets of high-rep barbell back squats and stiff-legged deadlifts on razor-thin rest intervals. A more perfect storm for technique breakdown could hardly be envisioned. Beginners already lack the ingrained neuromuscular coordination to maintain strict form under stress. When you force a beginner to perform multiple sets of 15 to 20 reps of a technical compound lift with short rest intervals, their cardiovascular system risks giving out before their muscles do, and their technique risks breaking down. If you're a time-crunched beginner after muscle growth, then you'd be far better served performing fewer sets and fewer reps with longer rest intervals and relying on machine exercises rather than barbells, because machines eliminate the time spent loading plates and require less technical proficiency. Mike's model for progression is highly questionable. He advises adding sets when you're ready to go psychologically and feel strong. Nowhere does he explain how psychological desires and feelings somehow inform physiological reality. Similarly, he advises adding sets when you're no longer sore, but fails to explain how or why soreness should inform training volume. Further, he's claimed that more sets automatically lead to more growth, so long as you can recover, is yet another unsupported assertion. And just because your body can successfully heal from an extra set doesn't necessarily mean that that set produced a superior hypertrophic signal. When adjusting the dose of training, Mike states that you can either add weight to the bar or add reps every week. But you don't need to progress in weight or reps every week, as Mike has often argued you should. You can simply stick to a given weight for a given number of reps for as long as it remains a stimulus, patiently wait for the physiological adaptation to occur, and only then increase the weight or reps. Mike concludes his chapter on exercise by asserting that you now know how to train. In reality, you now know how not to train. If you want a much more coherent, organized, thoughtful, comprehensive, researched, and correct guide to weight training, I highly recommend picking up Solomon's Guide to Fat Loss and reading chapters 16 through 19. Dr. Mike, what have you done? As we know, you hold a PhD, and a PhD is understood as the highest form of research training. With his doctorate in hand, you'd expect that Mike would have had a clear understanding of what makes the thesis of a book. What evidence makes it defensible? What gives a text its coherence? And what makes for research integrity? But this current book shows the opposite. What promised to be an exciting manifesto on aesthetic philosophy, diet, and training ends up disappointing each and every one of those disciplines before it even gets to synthesizing them. The aesthetic revolution doesn't even reliably represent scientific wisdom at present, much less project credibly into the future. First, the reliance on generative AI to generate portions of the aesthetic revolution is lazy, intellectually irresponsible, and risks violating the standard warranties of authorship inherent in publishing agreements with houses like Hachette Book Group. Second, a book purporting to explore the aesthetic revolution requires a coherent philosophical framework. Instead, the text is a superficial assemblage of buzzwords and recycled truisms. And third, for an audience seeking actionable, evidence-based guidance, the advice on diet and training is cursed with misconceptions, sloppiness, and scientific ignorance. The dietary protocols are flaccid, inefficient, relatively hard to follow, and lack scientific support, while the training prescriptions make little sense. All these things have laziness in common, and the impulse that it represents, to achieve results by pressing a button, is uncannily symbolic of the low-energy future that Mike wants, and that slothful, robotic button-pushing deprives the book of the originality necessary to the ambition. To delegate portions of the aesthetic revolution to a large language model is to give up from the outset. Generative AI operates by calculating statistical averages. It's designed to predict the next most probable word based on how humans have historically used language. By definition, AI generates the mean. It strips out voice, nuance, and intellectual risk, I think a prerequisite for originality, leaving behind the sterile, homogenized prose that is the antithesis of an aesthetic and intellectual vision. People go to Mike for his voice. I mean, why put the one thing that distinguishes him into the hands of an impersonal algorithm and thereby annihilate his charm? The aesthetic revolution fails because it attempts to shortcut the one variable that can't be bypassed, at least at this stage: the application of genuine human effort. The fitness industry doesn't need authority figures speaking ex cathedra through algorithmic proxies. What we need is a standard of thought and craftsmanship that no large language model can replicate. Mike has persuaded me that there's no substitute for honest, hard work, and that's what I'm dedicated to, whatever tools come along with their seductive but treacherous promises.